Uncut Gems is a stress-inducing 2019 film directed by the Safdie brothers and edited by Ronald Brownstein and Benny Safdie. There is one scene in the movie I want to highlight to explore the 3 stages of getting to know a character by telling, showing, or making us feel. This video is brought to you by Film Supply. Howard Ratner is a sports gambling addict, the owner of a luxury shop, and often hunted by his loan sharks.
What did I tell you? I said no more.
One day, a special order arrives.
Oh my God.
A gem worth over $1 million, with a promise to free him from all of his debts.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
I need this.
That's the movie played out in what feels like a 2-hour panic attack.
You're dead. I disagree.
Now, watch the scene that makes us feel like the protagonist.
Let's bet on this.
Don't even step in my place. Turn around.
I got some
don't
bets.
Even sit down.
24 G's.
24 G's. Where would you get 24 G's?
I want the OKC Lakers. I want the fucking over. All right? Yeah. I want Kobe's under.
Kobe under.
Fucking all of a sudden he's passing.
So what do we know? At the beginning, we see that Howard's bookmaker does not even want to talk to him.
Don't even step in my place. Turn around.
Without seeing or hearing how Howard convinces him to at least consider the bet, the bookmaker asks him where he got the money from.
Where would you get 24 G's?
Again, without seeing or hearing Howard's response, the bookmaker takes the bet.
Kobe under.
Fucking all of a sudden he's passing.
In this scene, we skipped 2 possible arguments.
Don't even step in my place. 24 G's. Where would you get 24 G's?
Both could have been utilized by the editors to show how Howard is and how he acts. Looking at a version of the script, we'll learn that Howard offered $5,000 of the $24,000 to pay off the bookmaker right off the top, which motivated him to even listen. Instead, the filmmakers decided not to allow time to meet Howard and chose to rush through the scene.
Don't even step in my place. Turn around.
I got some
don't
bets.
Even sit down.
24 G's.
24 G's. Where would you get 24 G's?
I want the OKC Lakers. I want the
But what is the main difference between showing the argument unfolding and cutting it off? Well, in my opinion, it came down to 2 story-shaping options. A. Do we show who Howard is? Or B. Do we make the audience feel how Howard feels as he's moving through life, and by doing that, making us experience who he is? Instead of explaining,
I think I was very explicit on the phone.
Or showing,
Jesus Christ.
the editors decided to make us mirror what this situation must feel for him, which brings Howard much closer to us. Like this, the frantic style sets the tone for the whole of the movie right from the start. When thinking about this scene, I reckon that there's one factor that editors can play with specifically: how the audience perceives a scene and feels about a character.
It's okay. Thank you.
But what is the difference between telling, showing, and feeling? Telling. A character tells us something about another character or situation.
Today's story is one of the more remarkable things ever to happen to Santiago, or even the world.
Showing. We are shown how a character acts and behaves in a specific situation.
Yeah, motherfucker. That's right. It's my nozzle now.
Feeling. We feel like a character feels in a particular situation due to its showing. To demonstrate that now, with the scene from Uncut Gems, here are different possible executions. Telling. Another character might tell us how Howard placed the bet and was in a rush while doing so. Showing. We see how Howard placed the bet and was in a rush. Feeling. The scene in itself feels rushed by cutting out arguments and compressing time, which gives us a similar feeling that Howard must feel when rushing through his day.
Kevin Garnett is coming to my fucking showroom right now. Right now.
But aren't we as editors always conveying meaning through the pacing of a scene? Yes, but what matters is whether we shape the character's inner feelings through the pacing or shape the context of the scene through the pacing. In Raging Bull, for example, we see slow motions throughout a boxing fight, which is not a realistic representation of how we would observe a fight. Using slow motion doesn't shape the scene's context, instead it conveys the protagonist's inner feelings, which connects us closely to them. By using a more realistic representation of the fight, we stay in a more distant perspective. So, how should you use perspective in your own work? Before we address this, let's give some props to Film Supply. It truly is the leading platform for cinematic, authentic, and exclusive footage from award-winning filmmakers. When you need high-end shots, why not license footage from incredible directors and cinematographers who are repped by companies like Anonymous Content, Pretty Bird, Stink, and more. Unlike a generic stock library, this is the most curated footage licensing platform out there. The best part, they don't just give you a single shot, but often entire scenes, so you get various angles. So whether you need the same talent in more than one angle of a particular subject or across multiple locations, it'll fit seamlessly in your edit. Hover Scrub and Quick Preview allow you to find shots fast. If you ever can't find what you're looking for or you're short on time, Film Supply's team offers complimentary footage search to track down any shot for free. So do check out the cinematic license footage for your next project from Film Supply by clicking the link in the show notes. Back to character perspective and how we can apply it. Whatever style you use in your editing will determine how your audience will experience the scene. If you're editing a character study where it is vital to get us close to the protagonist, you could shape the inner feelings instead of the scene and through that make us feel like the protagonist.
I survived. I should feel something.
But there's a downside of telling a story in a first-person perspective. The risk is that you usually cannot make a critical comment about your main character, as a really authentic character generally doesn't criticize themselves. In this scenario, a critique must come from the outside.
Stop! Let go!
This kind of storytelling is generally more demanding and challenging to your audience. If you are more inclined to comment on a system, situation, or a person, the third-person point of view, meaning showing, is usually easier to understand and maybe better suited. At its core, Safdie and Brownstein's editing set up the tone of the film early on and make us feel the way the protagonist likely felt. This approach may not always work, and whether you use it or not should be decided case by case.
You having a good time?
Yes.
What you can take away from their work is that you may want to think about the perspective from which you want to tell your story and then develop it from there. For the first time, I'm offering a free mini course called Secret Editing Hacks. In this 30-minute lesson, I show you my #1 editing hack I use for every feature film and documentary I cut. Pro editors don't rely on talent. They develop a system that guarantees that their cuts are always the best they can be and is efficient. The best way to show you is to bring up an old example. The system I use is something I developed and refined in over 20 years. Take advantage, click the link and get access to my secret editing hacks for free. Thanks for watching and happy editing. Cheers.